Hi, good you're watching this video. In this video I show you 25 theory questions of the CBR category Hazard Perception. And if you think after this video I will see all the videos and I want to do all the mock tests, then you go to theorycourse.com and there you order your complete theory course. And before I go to the first question, I first let you see the screen as the same screen as at the CBR test. So, how does this screen look like? And this is the screen. Well, now comes the exam part, hazard perception. You can answer the questions as long as the timeline is running. If you don't answer in time, the question is wrong. You cannot go back to the previous question. What you can do, you can push the button and go to the next question. But better don't do that. Because if you push the button after 7 or 8 seconds, the CBR also goes to the next question. So instead of go to question 2, you go to question 3. And question 2 is not good. And you cannot go back. There is no back button. Okay, with each question you get the choice of what to do in a situation. And those answers are always the same. Brake, release the accelerator or do nothing. You are the driver of every question. On the dashboard you can see the speed at which you are driving. And when you change direction you will see a turn signal and you can see the traffic behind you in the rear view mirror. And another advice, better don't look in the rear view mirror, because it will cost you a few seconds, and if you have to brake, you must always brake. Because if there is a zebra crossing and there is a little child crossing the street, you cannot say, oh, there is a car behind me, I don't brake. Or your light is red, your traffic light, you cannot say, oh, there is a bus or a van behind me, I don't stop because it's dangerous. Of course you have to stop for the red light. But if you want to look in the rear view mirror, it's up to you. Okay, you have 8 seconds to answer each question. And to pass this part you must answer at least 13 of the 25 questions correctly. On the next screen, just as at the CBR, there is first a practice question. And this question does not count towards to the result of the exam. And in the first practice question, I also show you how much is 8 seconds, because a lot of people think 8 seconds is too short to answer a question. Well, in real life, many times you don't have 8 seconds to react. So 8 seconds is more than enough. So let's see how much is 8 seconds. And those were 8 seconds. And do you think you have time enough to answer the question in 8 seconds? What do we see on the picture? We see you driving 30 kilometers per hour and there is a child playing with a ball. And if there is a child on or next to the carriageway, there is only one thing you can do, and the only thing you can do is brake. So I think you can answer this in 8 seconds or less. Okay, time to go to the first question. Question number 1. What do we see at the picture? We're driving 20 kilometers per hour and there is a child crossing the street. And if a child or man or woman or whatever is crossing the street, at hazard perception there is only one right answer, and the right answer is you have to brake. Question number 2. What are we seeing here? We see a roundabout, we're driving 20 kilometers per hour and there is snow on the road, ice or snow, whatever. And we drive 20. What should you do? Okay, doesn't matter what you should do. what you have to give as an answer is release the accelerator, because 20 in the snow at a roundabout is too fast. So you have to release the accelerator and you go slowly over the roundabout. Question number 3. What are we seeing at the picture? We're driving 130 kilometers per hour and we want to leave the motorway. So, tell me, what should you do? I say we do nothing. Because on the continuous carriageway, you don't release the accelerator. You first leave the motorway, you go to the exit lane, and then you can release the accelerator. So on the continuous carriageway, you never brake or release the accelerator without a reason. Question number 4. We're driving 40. We want to overtake those 2 bicycles, but from the other side there are also 2 bicycles, so we cannot overtake. We have to stay behind the bicycles. So what are we doing? We have to brake, and we have to wait after this little hill and after the train crossing, so that we can see if there is oncoming traffic, and if there is no oncoming traffic, we can pass the bicycles, not earlier. So in this case, we have to brake. Question number 5. We drive 40, we want to turn right. What should you do? Right answer is you have to brake, because if you drive 40, it's too fast. And you have to brake and change gears to the second gear. Every turn to the right or to the left, so sharp turns, you drive in the second gear. And the second gear starts about 15 or 20 kilometers per hour. So if you drive 40 and you want to turn right, you brake, change back to the second gear. Question number 6. We drive 100 and the advice is 80. So we drive a little bit too fast. And if we drive a little bit too fast, we do release the accelerator. Perfect. Then our speed is good enough for the curve, and in the curve or just after the curve, we can give more gas. Question 7. We drive 100. There is a green car wants to join us. So I think the right thing to do is release the accelerator. So give him a little bit more space, let him join us on the motorway, and everything is cool and fine. So release the accelerator. Question number 8 is a very tricky question, because what see we drive 70 and the advice is 30. So many people say you have to release the accelerator or brake, because this lorry in front of you is also braking. But why you not pass the lorry? Because the curve is there. Now the distance from here to there is maybe 1 kilometer. So you don't do anything. Yeah, if you look in the mirror, there is no traffic behind you. You can overtake the lorry and go back to the right side. And there, where the white car is or the red car, there you brake and change gears. Not here. You're not a lorry. You are a passenger car. Question number 9. We drive 40 and 2 people crossing the road. So if they are allowed or not allowed, doesn't matter. If people cross the road, you have to brake. No other answer possible. Question number 10. We drive 30 and we see an animal, a dog. And I've seen many videos on YouTube. They say, listen, if you do the hazard perception and you see animals on the picture, you have to brake. Always the right answer at the CBR is brake if you see an animal. No, I don't think that's a good advice, because there's a woman, I think it's a woman, doesn't look like a man. This woman is in control of this dog. So you don't have to do anything. You can just drive on. If an animal is crossing the street, yes, the same as a person who's crossing the street, then you have to brake at the hazard perception part. So the advice, if you see an animal, you must brake, forget that advice. Each and every situation is different. Question 11. What should you do? We drive 60 kilometers per hour and there is a truck coming your way. And after the truck you see a lot of smoke and dust and whatever. So the best thing you can do is brake and drive as far as right as possible. Question 12. You drive 40 kilometers per hour. What do we see on the picture? We see a sign. This sign is a warning for pedestrians. And there is no crossing for pedestrians, but just a warning. But in front of you there is a Mercedes-Benz, and he is braking. And why he's braking? Because of this speed bump over here. So what do? Just as the Mercedes-Benz, you also brake. Question 13. A narrow road, you drive 60, you see a yellow van over here, a small black car over there, and you see that the road is very small, so you have to brake. 60 is way too fast to continue. Question 14. We drive 80, but the maximum allowed speed is 70. And there is also a warning for a slippery road. So the best thing you do is release the accelerator, then your speed is going down a little. And this sign is also a question of the CBR. Does it only count when the road is wet, or does it count always? And this warning is always. If it's only if the road is wet, under this sign there is an other sign, and in Dutch they say when the road is wet, bij een nat wegdek. Question 15. We drive 80 and our indicator is on to the left. Why it's on to the left? You can only go straight or right, so you want to overtake those cars. And if you look in the mirror, there is no one in the left lane, so you do nothing. If you want to overtake, you don't want to release the accelerator or brake, so do nothing. Go to the left lane and overtake those cars. Question 16. We drive 100 kilometers per hour. We drive in the right lane, and there is a BMW. He's just overtaking you and going back to the right lane. So what should you do? You do nothing at all, because he's driving faster than you. That's why he's going to the right lane, so you can continue with 100 kilometers per hour. Question 17. We drive 10 kilometers per hour and we go to the right. What this motorcycle wants to do, I don't know. If he wants to go right, we have no problem with him. If he goes straight, we have no problem with him. And if he's going to the left, we also don't have a problem with him, because traffic who's going to the right goes before traffic who's going to the left on the same road. So we do nothing at all. Just drive on with the 10 kilometers per hour. Question 18. What should you do? We drive 10 kilometers per hour and we turn right. And there is snow on the road, and to the left you go to Groet or Hargen aan Zee, and to the right you go to Bergen or Alkmaar. So, what should you do? Exactly, you have to brake. Why? There is a stop sign. And if you see a stop sign, you have to stop and stand still for at least 2 seconds. So, by every stop sign, you have to stop. So, brake. Question 19. We drive 30 kilometers per hour and there is a child playing with a ball. So, what should we do? Of course, we have to brake. If a child is playing on the carriageway or on the side of the carriageway, you always have to brake. That's not so difficult to understand. Question 20 is almost the same as the previous question. Now we drive 40, a child with a little bike is playing. So what should we do? We have to brake again. Question 21. We drive 40 kilometers per hour. What do we have to do? We have to brake and change to the second gear and turn to the right because it's not allowed to go straight ahead. This sign means you may not enter this road from this direction. From the other direction you may enter the road, but not from this direction. Only if you drive on a bike or a moped you can enter this road. But now with a car you cannot, so you have to go to the right. And if you have to turn to the right, you have to brake and change to the second gear. Question 22. We want to turn left and we drive 40 kilometers per hour. So, what should we do? We have to brake and change to the second gear. If there is no oncoming traffic from the left or the right, we can continue. If there is traffic from the left or the right, then we have to stop. Question 23 looks like the same question as the one before, but now we drive 20 and we approach a road where we have to give priority to drivers from the left and the right. What should we do? In this case, we release the accelerator because we don't see drivers from the left, we don't see drivers from the right. So if we release the accelerator, we can drive slowly, 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 slowly. And if there is no oncoming traffic, we can continue our journey straight ahead. Question 24. We drive 30. We want to overtake this bicycle, but there is an oncoming car, so we have to brake. Perfect. Exactly. At the CBR, bicycles drive about 15 kilometers per hour. So if you drive more than that, you have to brake and stay after them until it's safe to overtake them. And the last question of the hazard perception. We drive 20 kilometers per hour and there is a man crossing the road. And what should we do? We have to brake because we don't trust him. He's a politician. What's his name again? Hugo de Jonge, and we don't trust politicians. So we have to brake. And those were the 25 questions for this video. I thank you for watching, and if you want to see all our videos and want to do all our mock tests, then you go to theoriecourse.com and there you can order your complete theory course. Well, thanks again for watching. Hope to see you by next video. Thank you. Gracias. Adios.